'Cause you've been in this field for, I assume, around 50 plus years?
I bet I was I no, 40 years since I became a professor. Um, let's see. Yeah, 40 years since I first became a professor. Mhm.
Do you ever plan on retiring, or do you think you'll be doing science until
I retired from my academic position almost a decade ago, but I continue to do science, yeah.
so that'll never stop, you think?
Well, I continue to ask questions and continue to write, and I mean, it's lifelong learning. So I'm not as active in that in collaborations as I was before, but but I try to continue to do it. More of my time is spent writing now than doing science, but there are a few key every now and then I have an idea and I work on it. So I just published a few papers. So yeah, I mean, I think you should continue. I'll continue to do what interests me. I mean, it was never work. It's always been what's interests me. So it's not work. And and so yeah, I think I'll just continue to do it.
And when you look back at your career, what sort of achievements do you feel the most either emotionally connected to or just the most professionally proud of?
Well, again, I try to it's not for me to say I do what I do and I try and do it well as I can and and then move on and it won't be for me to decide what's most important but for me it was very satisfying to be the first person to propose one of the first people to propose that empty space had energy and won Nobel Prize 10 years later it was such a it was nice to be the sort of the first person to know something about the universe that's an amazing feeling after the fact anyway, to be right about something like that. Um, but I think some of my popular work, my books that have had a big impact, I know because people have become scientists who've read my books in the past, everything from back from the physics of Star Trek to Universe of Nothing and other books. So I don't know which of my stuff is going to be most important, but I just do it because I like to do it. And
Yeah, yeah.
it was satisfying to from a scientific perspective, it was satisfying to glean some insight, deep insight into the nature of the universe. That was with dark energy, that was a remarkably satisfying development for me.
Yeah, and how has because you talked about not retiring because 'cause you'll always be able to ask questions, discover more, all of this. How has would you describe how aging has affected your curiosity? Are there subjects you now find fascinating that your younger self wouldn't even looked
Yeah,
at or
well, I
vice
mean,
versa?
I'm aging, it's wisdom, yeah, I didn't biology wasn't interesting when I was younger, and I didn't do biology, and I've learned a lot since, and now it's a fascinating field, genetics and biochemistry, and I mean, it's just amazing what can be done. So yeah, and I was always I've been a theoretical physicist, but my respect for experiments continued to grow the older I got, and my envy for people who build experiments that work, and so yeah, so and I've learned that there's so many areas of human activity in which there's excellence that I wasn't aware of, and people who are excellent, and so I become more humble, even though maybe people don't believe it. I certainly realize how many remarkable areas there are that I don't know about.
Mm. Do you ever think about what you would say to your younger self before getting into scientific academia or just into, I guess, science in general?
No, I mean, just continue to just, um, but I felt this way even then. But continue to plug away and do what interests you, and don't let the bastards get you down. That's uh, that's that's my advice to anyone. Just do what you enjoy, and then see what happens. And 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 don't be and take failure when something doesn't work um, as an opportunity to do something new or to use what you've learned and to also um, be um, be careful about the fact that the world isn't as nice a place as you might have thought.
Yeah, and well, it sounds like you don't have any regrets.
I think regret isn't particularly useful. There are things I'm unhappy that I've done in my life, but I'm not sure that maybe. I mean, there we all have done things, and there are things, opportunities, and that I didn't take advantage of that I might have, but the other things come along. I think recognizing th- these things is important, and learning from them is important. But living well is the best revenge. Maybe that's a good way because I think, man, that's my advice to people. Living well is the best revenge. Don't just do what you enjoy, do it well, and try not to let other people get and care and be kind. Yeah, those that's I sound like I don't know why I sound like Kurt Vonnegut, but anyway, be kind.